Good morning, good morning. Stocks go up, stocks go down. Do we crash? Probably not. Do we go lower? Not positive. CPI in Germany, very bad. Continues to go up. Nothing is getting better. The Netflix numbers don't make a complete sense, and we'll go through those here in a minute. Let me look for Miguel. Okay, he's not here. Okay. So let's talk about Netflix and the numbers. So 2 quarters ago, so if you get a piece of paper, write these down, and you can work with me on them. 2 quarters ago, they missed by 200,000 subs. Stock was at 700, it drops 200, 250, et cetera, et cetera. So it's 500. Then went to 450. Then they missed by 1 million subs. Now, they missed by 200,000, and then they guide lower. So you guide lower. So let's just say they guided lower by, I don't know, 500,000 subs. Just making up a number, okay? So you missed by 200, so you lost 200, but you guided lower by 500, okay? That's okay. So then they come out and then they miss by 1 million. So they guided lower by 500, and they missed by 1 million, okay? So that's another 1.5 they missed, right? So you take that 1.5 and you add the 200 that they missed before, so that you're at 1.7. So you're short 1.7 million subs, okay? Then they guided again for this quarter that they beat. Now, did they guide down? I don't know. But let's say they guided down by 500,000, okay? So you add that, you're just making up numbers here. So you're down 2.2 million subs, and the stock's at 170, and as it should be, okay? So now you report and you beat by 1.4 million of those, okay? So now they missed by 1 million, they missed by 200,000, they made 1.4, so they're positive by 200,000, or if you're using our 2.2 number because they guided down, you're still down 800,000 subs, okay? 800,000 subs. Now next quarter, you're gonna beat by 400,000, okay? So now you're almost back to even. Now your revenue has gone way down, and your earnings per share have gone way down, okay? Very interesting, right? This quarter, they beat revenue and they beat earnings per share. Pretty big, because they had, so those numbers are good. So you're down about 1 million people. But the stock goes from 700, and right now it's 270. So 700 to 270. But you're down 1 million people. If you lost 1 million people, should you be down 320 points, 400 points? I would say not. Okay, so let's go from so you're down 1 million people, and it went from 700 to say 200. So that's 500 points it lost. So you lost 1 million people. So let's say that's worth 50% of that value. 50% of 500 is 250. So you should have lost that much. So you add 250 back to where it was 240, and you get 490. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, but here's the thing. And this is why I think it's not at 350. Not saying it doesn't get there. But this is why I think it's not at 350 right now. Is because they're going to make 35 cents versus, I don't know, 110, 120, what they're supposed to make. Well, currency is bad. So if currency, let's say currency was 20%. Say currency was so bad. Let's say it's 30%. If you're going to make $1, 30% of $1 is 30 cents, you should make 70 cents. they're supposed to make like $1, $10, $20, whatever it was. You're going to make 32 cents. So the costs are way higher. So why are costs higher? Come on, guys, type this in. See if you guys are thinking like Sam. Why are costs higher? Because movies and actors and everywhere you put them up and everything else costs more money. The food you feed them costs more money. The hotel you put them in costs more money. Everything to make a movie costs more money. So your margin goes lower. Okay? So then also all this makes sense. Okay? So your subs are back to where you are, but your earnings are less. Makes sense. I agree with all this. Okay? Very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. Okay? But it's not 700 to 300 or 270s or what it is. It should be 700 to 400. Very interesting. Okay? And I didn't listen to the call, but if somebody listened to it, they're supposed to make 4.5 million new subs, but they didn't give you a number. They didn't give you a number of the new subs from what I originally read. The 4.5 million is new regular subs, not new ad-supported subs. So that's on top of this number. Okay. So the only other reason I think why Netflix is not at 320 today, there's a reason. So when Apple came out and said they were not going to give you iPhone sales, the stock cratered that quarter. It imploded. Apple doesn't give you iPhone sales now. Okay? They give you revenue. But based on revenue, you say, let's say somebody tells you they're making $10 million and a phone costs $1,000 and your lower phone costs $800. You can add up the numbers and divide and calculate how many you have. But here on Netflix, you're not going to really know if you lost, if you beat yourself up, if $16 or $17 subs went to $6 subs. I think that's the reason Netflix is not at 300. Now, it should be. And if the market comes back, to me, Netflix is very simple. If it trades at 281 today, it trades at 300. And I'm going to buy a ton of them, ton more, if it trades at 281. Now, one other thing in Netflix, very, very interesting. Regardless of what the market does today, up or down, or starts to crash tomorrow or the next week, you already have their numbers. You already know. It's a known commodity. Tesla, you don't know if they're going to miss today or not. NOW, Snow, Google, Amazon, you don't know. And a known commodity, money will flow to the known commodity more than a non-known commodity. Because you already know, right? So very interesting. But watch Netflix, because in theory, this thing should have been 321 last night. Should have been 321. Interesting. Okay, that's what we know. Now, here's the other thing. Netflix came out. Snow was at 176. Amazon was at 119. Google was 102.50. MDB was 193. NOW was 363. Tesla was 224. This was last night. They're all lower. Okay? Nothing is getting better. The dollar is a big issue. If the dollar continues to go higher and it's up 71 cents today, the market will tumble because earnings will continue to get worse. Okay? Inflation is not getting better. Of the new subs, only 100,000 is from India. The rest are from Canada. The rest are from India. So a lower average sales price. Thank you, Etsy. Okay? So that's what we know. That's what we know. Goldman Sachs. So we sold Goldman Sachs yesterday right at the open and got 350. As somebody asked me, why 350? Because if it traded at 320, 10 points out of the money should have been 3. I added premium just for the hell of it, so I put 350 in there and they filled. Lucky. But that's premium. Have to know premium. Okay? Okay, then we see. The market had 2 chances to completely implode yesterday. SPX is up 70. So things that are different. Over the last 3 months, every time the SPX is up 50, 60, or 70, and it goes negative, it goes down another 80 or 90. Wow. Had a chance to drop all the way to 3,600. And then it pops 50. And then the Apple news comes. And it drops again, had another chance to drop. Now, if you had SPX 3680s, 4 to 14 to 30 cents, back to 480, back to 0. Have to trade them. Okay? Interesting, right? Okay. So nothing is better. Everything is worse. I don't know what's going to go on with Tesla, but Tesla was a double. Everything was a double, yes. Every single trade was a double. Have to sell. We actually got a positive on, still made 30 cents, but not a double. But 30 points out are 80 cents. But it has no legs. It doesn't seem to hold. And things are getting uglier. And here's the thing that I keep telling you. That these guys on CNBC and all of these amateurs, what they don't understand is nothing comes back in a quarter. You don't come back in a quarter. UPSD went from 400 to 300 to 200 to 100. If you liked UPSD at 100, you could say, okay, it can go up 50 points. That goes to 150. That's it. NOW dropped from 480 to 330 last week. 337. So it can pop. It can pop to 400, maybe 420. But it's not going to 500 or 520. Now, it may in a year, but it's surely not doing it in a quarter. Tesla dropped 100 points. It popped 20, and it can't hold 20. Wow. Then we see. So today, very straightforward. Netflix is the known commodity. You know it isn't going to complete shit. So now, if it can take out 281, it doesn't matter what the market will do. They will buy the hell out of it. If it doesn't get to 281, then maybe tomorrow or the next day, based on Tesla. Then we see. Okay? ASML has earnings. They're out, and it's up 20. Now, I don't know what they came in at. I don't know what the guide is. We need to go look at that. We'll look at it and put it in the room. But Lam Research is going to guide lower. It's going to guide lower. Now, is it factored in? Maybe. Then we see. Okay? Interesting. Goldman Sachs is down 3. That takes the market lower. You're down 20. This 3,700, very hard to break. 3,640, very hard to break. If we dive, there's a long dive. Okay? Very straightforward. but nothing is loved. Look, people are disillusioned. There's a lot of disillusioned people in the world. You're disillusioned. If you go talk, you go into a bar, go into any bar, and you go into a bar and talk about people. Oh my God, are you buying a $100,000 car? And if you ask 10 people, at least 4 of them are going to spit on you. Okay? There are people that have money. There's a whole hell of a lot of people that don't have money. And things that Elon is doing to make more money is pissing people off. Look, I'm a Tesla fan, and I'm an Elon fan. Doesn't matter if you're a fan. You have to say it like it is. Oh, we're going to give you self-driving. It's 12 grand. Oh, now it's 15 grand. Oh, order a car here, and it's going to be 39,000. Price it out. Okay, and then give us $1,000. Oh, but now it's going to be 70. Refund our money. Okay. Week later, you don't have it. You send an email. You don't get an answer. Send 2 more emails. You don't get an answer. This shit doesn't happen. At regular car dealers, shit like that doesn't happen. You have a problem with a Tesla? We have Teslas. And you need a part? Oh, we don't have a part. It's going to take you 6 weeks, 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks? Wow. Interesting. Okay, so just know that. Just know that. Okay? If the demand is truly drying up in Tesla, it's going to test 162. Okay, let's do the math. 150. Well, let's say 162. 162 times 3, 486. Let's add some to it, and then you get 500. 500 times 5 is 2,500. That means Tesla is still at 2,500. SPX just cratered huge. Okay? Don't know what drove it down, but it's just breaking lower. If somebody has the news, let me know. But the Netflix news should have taken the market up, but it didn't. Okay? Now, one other thing. The UK CPI. Okay, one other thing here. ASML last time missed. It was down 20, closed positive by 20. Now let's go the other way. This time it's up 20. Does it close negative by 20? If it does, Lam Research is going to collapse. Look, the chips are bad. Any way you look at it, the chips are bad. Okay, that's what we know. Okay, that's what we got. Okay, good morning, everybody. 10:19. Stocks go up, stocks go down. SPX down 27. 27, that's under 26.93 right there. 26.40, very hard. 2,600. CMG 15.09, 14.52, 15.91 up. Apple 138, 138, 138. That's all that matters. 138. CRM right back down. 149, 141. ASML 391, 362, 352 upside. NVIDIA 116, 109 upside, 126. Goldman Sachs 101, 291 upside, 322. Sava all about if it gets 41, it'll run. Avago 409. Now Avago has a huge problem too. They sell it all into China. 409. When does it break? Don't know. Lam Research 321, 309. JP Morgan, if it gets to 113, the whole market will crater. Meta 130, 123. 123 looks like a huge number. Kremlin announces high alert regime in central and southern federal districts. Decree. What does that mean? Don't understand what that means. Okay. Amazon did not get through 119, so back to 109. Google did not get through 103.50, so back to 98. MDB 181, 172. Snowman 161, 146 beast. You now have a beast number to the downside. If it breaks 146, it will be 121. Didn't say it's going to. Okay, upside 188. Netflix actually like the 190s if he lets you have him at 1 or 2. I don't think he's going to, but interesting. You can add a week too. NOW right back lower, 333 down, 362 up. Moderna breaking lower. The CEO said last night you don't need the booster. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. That makes no sense to me completely. If that's true, this is 121 today. Tesla 209, 191. First Solar, nothing happening. Lower, lower, lower. Russia announced martial law in Ukraine. Like, why does that matter to the market? Don't know. Interesting. Things that matter and things that don't. That's what we know. Okay. And then we see. Everybody have a great trading day. See you in chat.